Welcome back, Darkface Soldiers. You're listening to the 3rd Infantry Division Realism Gaming Podcast. You're already noticing some couple changes. Compared to the last time, it's me, Sergeant D.Smiřický, talking to you today as the main speaker. Here with me tonight are our speakers. If you each want to go down the line and introduce yourself, please be my guest.
I'm happy to be your guest. Major J.LaFlash here, Battalion Commander. Hello.
Hello, First Lieutenant N.Cooper here, Tree Cap Brigade Commander. And I'll be the second co-host, but for today I'll be just a guest.
That's right, you heard him. We are making some changes here. Myself getting too big for my britches up in battalion, so decided we got to hand it off to the more capable personnel. So, Sergeant J.Smiřický, thanks for taking over the main host job. It's a big responsibility, and obviously as the NCOIC, it's right up your wheelhouse. And then obviously we of course had to pull Lieutenant Cooper in as the OIC. He can't get out of doing nothing, right? So we got him here with us. I love it.
Exactly, because then Cooper would have nothing to do in this demos and he would just be sitting doing nothing.
Throwing shade, OIC to NCOIC, throw down!
But let's get started. Me, Sergeant Dennis.
We have no.
Well, if you let me speak, Major, since it's my turn now, it's my game now.
It's your podcast, so I'll show it.
Well, I'm gonna be the today's soldier of the quarter for this quarter. And First Lieutenant Cooper is being today as man behind the rank. A special edition today, since both the main speakers are today the guest speakers. Hopefully, you're all gonna enjoy it. So, on to the first matter. We had some couple of big promotions this quarter. Chief Warrant Officer 4th Grade Apollo Diomedes, we salute you. Congratulations on getting much closer to Chief Warrant Officer 5th Grade. Hopefully, you're gonna make it next time we have a podcast, but probably not. But once you do, we're gonna have you here on the podcast. On the other billet change, we have Sergeant First Class Marsh finally making it to the Sergeant First Class after what seemed like a really almost failed promotion board. But that's all I can disclose. And what can you say for it, my dear guest speakers? I guess.
Well, yeah, I would say obviously Chief Dio brings a lot to the table. I'll let Cooper talk about him the most, being that he's obviously his XO. But Sergeant First Class Marsh obviously has been one of our SLs for a long time, made platoon sergeant, and then obviously pushed through some adversity with the board and finally got to that E7. We'll be losing him to a military LOA here for a good chunk of the second quarter that we're in, going to be starting, but he should be back and going to go make himself as a drill sergeant in the real U.S. Army. So that should be pretty sweet to add that to our unit, ways of things. So what do you got to say about Dio?
Oh, well, I'm just happy that he's finally achieved 4. If people don't know, there's been a lot of joking about within the C-Staff team about him ever going down the Chief 5 route, which we do have our own little intern memes about, which I'm not going to disclose. However, yeah, it's been a ride. He's one of the first and, as far as I know, only Chief Force in the last 10 years who's actually active duty, and has not been promoted due to retirement or any other circumstances, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest feats to have accomplished in the last 10 years. And the chief should wear that with a badge of honor. He's one of the only, if ever, to have that rank within this unit. Which is
I want to say it's been a long time. Obviously, not a lot of people listen to this podcast. Remember 10 years ago where we're here, but the latest I remember was a Lars, I think, made it, or maybe that was close to a Chief Warrant Officer 3 promoted into 4 from retirement. But for sure, the first one in recent history and memory that has been here, got it without retiring. And he's not stopping there. He's not retiring until he hits that Chief Warrant Officer 5. So he says. But I told him he'll get that when I retire, and that's still a little ways away. So he's at least holding out for the long haul.
I'm just proud to say that I'm his OIC, which kind of gives me a little bit of an ego boost, because that means I made a Chief 4, and that means I'm the greatest. All right.
Question is, though, are you greatest than the hero of the Second Aurelian Crusade? Excuse me, that's something in a different matter, but Chief Warrant Officer 4 will probably get what I mean. So, those were our billet changes. Our two great people got into C-staff role, platoon leader, platoon sergeant, platoon daddy, and a big CV4. Hopefully they'll do good, they'll advance even further beyond, and hopefully with Apollo Diomedes, we'll see that CV5 one day. Well, next topic are some news about our staff shops and demos availability. We're gonna leave that to Major J.LaFlash, who hasn't done this part in a long time, so we're letting him enjoy it this last time. Major, hit it away.
I appreciate that, Sarge. So going down a couple of our S shops, obviously starting off with S1, recruiting and retention. Doing pretty well there. We've done, I'm actually the OIC there, with Sergeant Ayers as our NCOIC. I mean, very proud of the team that we've had over this first quarter since the new year. We have been doing phenomenal, I would say, on our recruitment aspects. More so that it hasn't just been a select one or two. It's been pretty well spread across the board. We work pretty hard on making sure that everybody's involved. It's not a free ride DMOS. And we have some really talented people, including yourself, Sergeant J.Smiřický, that dedicate a lot of time to doing NSOs, new soldier orientations. And then there's also the backside of that, of drawing recruits in and finding them on Discords and finding them on a couple other things. Obviously, working through our recruiting avenues. Obviously, we know Clans List is a humongous one for us. Does pretty well. We're obviously required to revote on there daily. You're welcome. I'm sorry. Not sorry. But also recently, we're getting more and more involved in MilSim units as a voting thing. It's not a requirement by any means. Full exposure or full what's the word I'm trying to find out? Telling you the truth. I own that, so I'm not going to say, soldiers, you have to vote on it. However, I will say we're doing a hell of a lot better than Clans List is in terms of analytics, because I actually see those analytics, being that we're the owners. And missed opportunity if we are not fully engaged there, I can tell you that. But without RRO and the staff that we have, we wouldn't be anywhere. S2, obviously, we have the upcoming operation. We'll be excited about where that's come. It's been a long 4 months of FTXs, and now we're in our company FTX, or our company's evaluations side. Talk a little bit about that in S3 portion, but happy that we're finally getting that deployment status here shortly. Be rolling out here in May, so that's when the combat ribbons, combat patches, combat badges, all that's going to start rolling as we hopefully get another campaign under many of our belts, and then some of our new soldiers, your first campaign with us. So you get that first combat action or combat infantry badge. So
oh my god, that's gonna be amazing. Just more work for me and the goddamn ceremony post, if you know what I mean, Major.
There's a lot. S3, obviously, FIG's been doing outstanding stuff. They've been working on a lot of our remakes of a lot of our courses recently. They've been front loading with the approval of Cat Medical in the last couple months, as we voted on that, brought that on board. So now it's the remake of our Combat Lifesaver School, as well, our course, as well as our Combat Medic course. And then, getting through and requalifying our current personnel. So they have a big tasks ahead of them. On top of that, they're also constantly reevaluating a lot of other things. Our courses, our coursework, making courses better, taking stuff out. I know they're currently right now actually going through the hiring and vetting process of a senior drill sergeant, so that they can, offload some coursework and bring those soldiers that have been doing outstanding work in FIG up a little higher than drill sergeant. And then hopefully that opens a slot for a drill instructor or an RSO to move up and so whatnot. S4 has been extremely busy. Obviously, we have CID. Very proud of them. The ending of last year, it was an ongoing joke that you put in your CID request, your uniform request, and maybe by the following ceremony it'll be done.
If you're lucky.
But that's and they took it to heart. Sergeant First Class Marsh got in there as NCOIC and really helped turn that around. You got Sergeant Nicholas, who's also the uniform lead, who's very passionate about what he does, and they took that to heart. That that's an understatement. And the last couple of months now, they've been rocking those requests out. They're not as fast as I would say as BMO, who's they have a 48-hour window that they're getting their ceremony request stuff done within like 12 hours. Amazing work there with Chief Dio as NCOIC again. And then you got the OICs, of course, doing their thing. But the COE, obviously, Cooper, you're in there with Tucci and Frost and Starling now, just as the newbie jumping in. A lot of work on your guys' plate in terms of this operation. A lot of mod updates, a lot of mod testing, things like that. And then jumping back a little bit to BMO, myself and Lieutenant Tucci have been in a lot of meetings in the last couple months here about our new website that we're in the works on producing and making. We're almost to the point to where in the coming months here, in Q2, maybe into the mid-year, to where we'll be getting BMO involved, because then we have the transfer of data in terms of service records should be automatically all transferred. However, some of those certificates are not transferred. So there'll be some work on the BMO side, of course, on our side as command staff, getting the needed documents and policies updated. Good time to review a lot of those and make sure that they're most up to date. And it says the last time they've been really touched was probably when our current website was made, which was 2017. So we, usually a good website lasts about 5 years. We've been updating. Well, currently right now we're at 8. So, I mean, we're extending that a little bit. And if you ever got access to the admin CP, you'll notice some of those errors that we kind of just click the little X and say, oh, we don't see that, and hope it still runs the next day. So a big shout out to actually a retired member of ours, Captain Drake, used to be one of our platoon leaders. He's a retired member. He's been helping us through his company that will be helping, we're his guinea pig in terms of his website development and see how it goes. I honestly, I love it so far. I can't wait to be able to share it out to the rest of the team and get that link out there. It's not available yet, as we want to, button some buttons, cross some T's, dot some I's before we at least get the beta test website out there and start signing people up on it. So stay tuned. And then, and obviously we got public affairs. They've been consistent doing what they do. Smiřický, you lead that like no other, with Cooper now recently taking over as OIC this quarter. And they've taken care of a lot of streaming, a lot of videos, taking care of our social media platforms as well. And they don't miss a stream, and I get privy of seeing that communication of, hey, who's streaming, who's editing. Very proud of the team that we have, public affairs, because that's our image. That's what people see as a civilian looking in the window towards us, is whatever public affairs allows them to see, right? So ultimately, couldn't be proud of our DMOSs. A lot of work goes into this, and it is work. It's not, this is our hobby. The workload is sometimes big, So making sure that as NCOICs and OICs and shop leads, that we're taking care of our members, our soldiers, appreciating them for the work they do, awards, things like that, anything that we can do to appreciate them. As sometimes it becomes a job versus, that's not the fun side of the unit, but it's what has kept us going for the last 20 years, is a strong DMOS core, and it shows every day. So that's the news about our S shops and DMOS. So cool.
I would also like to add one more thing to that. I would like to shout out all of you team leaders under PAO, under CID, BMO, all of you people who are below the OICs and NCOICs, basically the right-hand man who directly interact with all the base members. You're all doing a fucking amazing job directing them. Although you may not get NCOIC, but you're doing a great job already. Oh, that's that. Well, we have some couple interesting unit news to be shared. Well, first is, and one that I'm gonna leave to an expert to talk, is Milsim units. We already mentioned that here. From what I know, Milsim units is a special website. All of you know the clans list. You vote on clans list. You're trying to get those 60 votes. Well, our dear Major LaFlash decided that he wasn't happy with Milsim units, that he just wanted something better for us, something he could actually control and rule over with Iron Fist. So he made Milsim units with a couple other people. Major, why don't you tell us about it?
I would say Iron Fist. Come on. Ideally, I'm trying extremely hard to keep the unit and Milsim units separate, right? As I have to remain in a neutral area in terms of for the clients and personnel that are over in Milsim units, the other units, knowing that I'm not going to use my position there and for granted to promote and have the third ID, front and center on everything. And just because I built everything there, it's very important that is known, that's not who I am. That's not my plan. In fact, everything to do with Milsim units on the decision-making side for the third here is done through Lieutenant Tucci. Me and him have been in contact. I don't order him. I don't say, go make this happen. I just tell him the facts that this is what I'm seeing from, within and the vital statistics, and, to where, obviously, yes, we benefit hardcore from my involvement with Milsim units, just by my presence here and there. However, the thought behind Milsim units, you kind of touched on it, about making sure that, we've used clans list for, I'd say, a decade, of being able to vote daily, pay a subscription model to get 300 votes. And then, last year alone, we took in over 200, just under 200 applications from clans lists alone, because we've always been on top of clans lists. We're never not out of, first, second, or third place. And 90% of the time always in first, because of the policies and the rules that we have for daily voting and stuff like that. And that's why that's in place. Obviously, the Milsim units, sooner or later, as my goal is to bleed the clans list a little drier, to where bringing them over in those units. But that's not truly the goal. It ultimately became about serving the Milsim units, serving the communities of Milsims. I identified the gaps that there's no easy way to connect a Milsim unit like ours with a person looking, right? There's obviously some recruitment avenues, some Discords we can post on a recruiting forum, on Reddit, on Steam, only to be swamped by hundreds of other posts from other units within 24 hours. So the actual literal chance of your post, your recruitment ad being seen by a person looking is very slim. Really just by chance and luck that they see it. So the thought process behind Milsim units was create a hub of a lot of units, which were there. We've already had over last week we hit the 100 unit mark. This week we're already rounding about quarter, another 15 already on board. So it's growing relatively fast, but it's all about building a community of milsim units, getting them to make their profiles and seeing what it's all about. On the backside, or I should say the reverse side, for us as a staff in milsim units, running some Google ads, search engine optimization keywords, and drawing people in. So when somebody Googles best ARMA unit, they get put on milsim units, right? That website comes up, they can select ARMA and then see the units. Same concept in milsim units as clans list to an extent, to where the top vote is on the top. So the most votes, you're on the top of that list. Part of our subscription model has nothing to do with voting, but more so about just getting more exposure, visibility. We have weekly, we have monthly slots, things like that, along with also helping promote the PR side, YouTube side, things like that. We just actually signed some contracts with some sponsorships with Friday Night Fights and Arma Reforger. We've already signed some contracts with Tactical Gamer League, which obviously we're not involved with that side, but I do highly encourage us to get involved with FNF as a unit. I know next Friday the 1st, I'll be hoping to bring some soldiers with me. So if you're hearing this and want some PvP action, check out the Fun Ops or the Looking for Games channel. I posted some information in there back yesterday, April 20th-ish, April 21st. And, hopefully being able to draw some people. But that's kind of the rundown. I mean, I want to give back to the milsim community, make it simpler for soldiers to find groups and for groups to find soldiers. And that's really where we're at. Like I said, we've gotten some content creators on board as well. So a lot of finance behind it. So it's pretty invested to make sure it works.
All right. That was certainly interesting to hear from you, Major. I have a critical question in regards. We have certain votes mandatory for ranks, 60 votes, and you get an award. Do you plan to slowly transfer from voting on clans list to voting on milsim units as a requirement?
I will say it's not my call. That's going to be made up for Lieutenant Tucci and the rest of command staff. At this point, I would not advise it for the sheer fact that, clans list still has some viability. We want to make sure that we still remain top there just by, what we do every day. It still brings value to us. The goal would be to have milsims bring the goal, that strength to us as well. And then we'll see which one kind of, draws. I think Lieutenant made the choice to add milsim units to our RRO application about how did you hear from us, so that we as a unit can start getting some data and analytics on how our soldiers finding us. If we see an uptick and people are finding us through milsim units and we just happen to be on the top of that vote as well, then, hopefully that data is good enough for the rest of command staff to make that decision. But ultimately, I sustain from really that conversation, that decision. It's not mine to make. Again, I have to remain completely neutral, unbiased. I'm good with whatever decision is made. If I did not make milsim units to only be beneficial for the third ID, I made it to be beneficial for all of milsim gaming. So, I mean, if it's not beneficial for the third ID, but beneficial for everybody else, that's a win in my book. If it's beneficial for both, that's a win-win in my book. So,
well, that's something to hear. That's understandable that you have to stay as a neutral man, and you have to stay that, so we're gonna just follow that. Well, thank you for talking about that. It certainly, hopefully, opened many eyes to our unit members who are listening to this podcast. Well, next unit news is gonna be about certain medical mod that you all heard about. Cat Medical has been added this quarter to the unit. The vote has gone through on, and we have already transferred through it with most of you already being experienced about how dealing with casualties, getting people up, our amazing squad medics like Corporal Toby Hunter, Mrs. Winners, or even our platoon dog, Sergeant Nicholas, or just our boys from 2nd Platoon who have been willingly helping all of us learn. They're still here. Well, First Lieutenant Cooper, I believe you said something that you can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about the process of getting Cat Medical going. Given how it's been on the table within C-Staff for, Major, you can correct me, but almost half a year now. I think we started talking December or even earlier, November last year.
Oh, I think actually sooner than that. I want to say it was more towards fall, summer time frame that it got brought up about the potential. I know we tabled it because we didn't want to switch medical systems in the middle of a campaign. But then the front work went in, kind of led by Sergeant Nicholas and a small staff there. I know Sergeant Marsh was involved. Staff Sergeant Duck was involved, along with a few other members. Sorry if I didn't say your name, but a lot of research had to go into it. That's for sure. But then, yeah, so we've been on this for quite some time. So it's nice to get it to the finish line.
Yeah, we've been talking for quite a long time. The reason why it came to the talks in the first place was, I believe, one time Sergeant Mackenzie brought up his concerns about CLSs and 68 whiskeys within this unit being kind of the same, which any real life soldier could would stand up in their chairs right now and be like, well, they are not the same, which we are agreeing with you. They are not the same. Therefore, we decided to give the unit a little bit of a I wouldn't say blockage, but to give them a little new challenge along the way, given how the last campaign has been pretty much just a steamrolling campaign for the unit as a whole. I know damn well that most of the infantry elements, they had no issues with the casualties whatsoever, and even if they did sustain some, the amount of times you had somebody down, or the implications of having somebody down were pretty much non-existent. And given how we were claiming to be a realism unit, we decided to actually take another step to the realism department and go with Cat Medical, which by many actual medically trained people in real life is potentially one, if not the best, medical system within gaming. I certainly, given how I'm a little bit trained medically because of my job in real life, however, I'm not a medic or something. Just want to point that out. I can see why people will say that. It is very fantastic. It brings more. I'm gonna just say it for the grunts here. It brings more drugs to the table. This will get some people standing up right now. It will give PLSs and 68
Wait, drugs? Where?
See, the sergeant is
coming from the Czech guy.
But yeah, it gives the CLSs and 68 whiskeys something actually to do. Some role or MOS differences, especially for the 68 whiskeys. They are no longer just the caretaker, if you will, of the CLS. They are actually being mommy and or puppy of the CLS. The CLS is again gone back into the rifleman first role, unlike what it was before, which was kind of just medic minus, especially from my point of view. But yeah, we've been working on this for quite a while. We even had to put it up for a unit vote, which Major can attest to is pretty rare within this unit, because unit votes can go a good way, but also, again, in a very negative way. Therefore, usually C-Staff doesn't want to roll them out, mainly because most changes we in C-Staff bring to the table aren't as major, haha, pun intended, as this. Therefore, we just decided to roll it out for the entire unit to test and actually experience, which we did for about the entirety of FTX. If that's wrong, correct me. But I'm pretty sure we did that for the entire FTX. But yeah,
I think we did it right in terms of how we put a lot of thought in the front side. We had a testing phase. We had a unit vote to get the rest of the unit involved because it is a big thing. Prior to this, our last unit vote was about whether or not we were going to use task force radio or acre, because it does have an effect on all soldiers. Of course, we're not going to put everything up to a vote. No unit can be able to run like that. We're in command staff. We have a staff that is very diverse in our opinions and the way that they brought up, and that's what I love about our command staff, is that we each can bring up our own thing. We're each passionate about a different area. We each have expertise in different areas, and being able to have our meetings and just punch out some pretty big ticket things that we're going forward, weapons mods, things like that, other mod pack stuff, to make those decisions and see how it goes. It's a united front once we leave that office on that vote, and it's a democracy there. When we're able to extend that to the rest of the unit to make decisions, it's great. It's just not all the time it's going to be able to happen, but for time frame stuff as well as other things as well. But yeah, I thought this was rolled out perfectly, utilized perfectly, voted on. Obviously, we had some no's, and ultimately those no's knew that they had to, if it was a yes, when it goes to a unit vote, we all agree that it's a unit democracy vote, just like command staff meetings, that it's once we get an answer and we got the final verdict, we all move forward from that point and move forward in the direction that the vote took place. And if everybody's on board with that, and just because they voted no, they're not going to use it, now they leave the unit, then it might not have been the best fit in the first place. But that's not how this unit runs. We're here to bend and make sure that we know that, okay, it's betterment of the unit moving forward. So, and this is one of those cases.
Yep, I totally agree.
Well, I'm gonna stay away my opinion. It's for me 50-50, but there's a big 40-year-old man that has a marksman rifle and my address currently listening to me, so I'm not allowed to talk about my opinions.
Wait, you're calling me 40?
No.
I got some time before that, son. You're gonna run 20 laps for every year I have left until I'm 40. Okay, that's how much you're gonna run.
So 1 lap. All right, got it.
Oh, okay. It's 30 laps per year for you, Lieutenant.
So it's not just my demotion, but Cooper's as well.
Remember everything I said about S6 before with PAO? I take it back. All right.
But yeah, that's certainly about Cat Medical. There's a couple. Everybody has their own opinions, but in the end, we all have to come to terms with the democracy and liberty that we've come to take from this. If you're certainly not a fan of this, if you're not a fan of democracy, then I need to report you to a democracy officer, right, Cooper?
Yep, you're not a real helldiver. That's for sure.
Well,
is that a game? I'm joking. All right.
Is that a game?
Maybe if you act nice, you might get it as a birthday gift. Well, Cat Medical behind, we have one more topic to talk about, interesting news, and that's arma3 community DLC that recently released as a Reaction Forces. It's a community DLC that is adding on top of the base game, staying with the thematic of NATO aliens, of like Asian aliens, the CD something, I don't know. Oh yeah, the CSAT and NATO, right. Well, they're adding a bunch of stuff that still stays in the art style and the thematics of the base Arma storyline. So you're not gonna learn much, but there comes some interesting stuff, like dual-barreled mortar that can be automatic.
Third squad, listen up.
Yeah, Donnelly, I'm talking to you. There's a mortar that's fully automatic and fires from 2 fucking tubes. You better start, and it's in 120 millimeters. You better start posting.
That's not a mortar, that's a fucking howitzer.
Maybe. But yeah, certain Major, you can expect a review, well, mod request. Well, it also adds a couple rifles, 2 new rifles, American sniper rifle, and a 50 Action Express pistol from the old 80s action movies. Yes, it's gold plated. There's also Glock 19 and a German bolt rifle, chambered in 5.56. And of course, not just military stuff, there's also some, as it says, reaction stuff. There are some helicopters, cool helicopters that are actually have firefighting capabilities. I believe, First Lieutenant Cooper, you know anything about those helicopters?
I actually haven't had time to look it up. I'm sorry.
That's a disappointment.
It is. I'm a fake brigade commander.
All right, let's get Dio in here.
Yeah.
Somebody that actually knows some shit.
Yeah, right.
Can I get Warrant Officer in charge, please? But yeah,
sounds like pretty sweet. I know. Obviously, it's a user-made DLC released by Bohemia.
It's
a PR behind it, right?
From what I know, they've already released one DLC. The same guys. They're the Rotators Collective, and they released the DLC Western Sahara for all of you who played it.
Yeah, that came out a couple years ago.
Yep, exactly 3 years ago.
That's one thing I love about Arma, right? If you look at like when they did the 10-year in review for arma3, just happened back in September, there's literally been a new DLC every single year. There's 10 DLCs. Now we're in year 11, and now there's 11. For them to be able to
Wasn't that 12 now? Did you Oh yeah, right. The World War II released last year.
Yeah, I think that was the 10th. Was the Spearhead. But then for them to also to have that team to obviously it's a split team, but then those that are working on the work now we're not in Reforger, but through my work with Milsim units and looking into Reforger a little bit more, that's made some pretty big strides and has been on fire lately. Some humongous streamers are on it. You got Shroud and Smoke, the big dog ones that are streaming like no other. Are playing Reforger now, and it's starting to really, really blow up. And I know those in the Milsim units website, their goal is to have more units in in the website than Arma. So I mean, I'm great with that. I love that idea. Helps, but that's pretty impressive. And I obviously I haven't got to play much of it myself, but I think the last time I played it was. Maybe I jumped on for a little bit here in the recent months, but to actually sit down and play hours of it at a time, it would have been right when it launched, and that was what, 2 years ago or more?
I think 2 years ago, yeah.
So Arma's doing outstanding. Obviously love it. Well, obviously we're all waiting for 4 to drop. I mean, that's the main thing. Then it's a big frenzy of everybody, Arma 3 and Arma Reforger, getting out there and doing it. So.
Also, arma3 is not the only Arma that recently got a community DLC. Well, this was a community DLC. Some of you may have seen a video from Bohemia Interactive on the 1st of April in regards to Arma Forger DLC.
Is it the Toy Soldier one?
Yes, and I have to tell you, it was not an April Fool's.
It was not. No, it was pretty awesome. They kept it temporarily, right? So they initially, it was the April Fool's, haha, but then they fooled everybody with the April Fool's and said, no, it's real. Come check it out. And they had it on their official servers for, I think, a couple weeks or a week or something like that. And then it is available still. People can still put it on their servers and play it. I saw some pretty good footage of it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It reminded me of, obviously you two aren't really privy of American football, but they did last year football season. They did a Toy Story game. I think it was one of the games that they played in London. Obviously, the over the air, over the TV, they converted it into Toy Story, I believe. to where then they had like different characters from Disney characters as the players, and it was kind of it was weird to me, but that they oh wait, was it that or Nickelodeon? I can't remember. I think they also had a Nickelodeon one too, but it's insane what they're doing.
Yeah, I certainly much more enjoyed the U.S. Army versus Navy football game,
Hell yeah, go Army, beat Navy.
especially in third AD livery. But
Yep,
I'm
yep.
gonna have to give out some grave information for all of you. We are arma3 based unit, and we haven't moved to arma reforged. Why? Because we
Yet.
are waiting for arma 4. Well, as many of you know, I'm from Czech Republic, and Bohemia in the interactive is from Czech Republic. I'm gonna share this little thing. I've met with couple Bohemia Interactive employees on a chance because they went on my. I met them at my part-time work. Some of you already know I work at a paintball field. Well, if the only thing I can tell is don't expect that's gonna disappoint you all. Don't expect it anytime soon.
Boo, boo, Cooper, boo 'em, boo.
Great works each
Uh,
time. We don't want a shitty product.
Yeah,
That is true. 100%. You're right there.
I
otherwise,
trust Bohemia.
otherwise the guys I met were pretty fucking amazing from Bohemia Interactive. They were cool dudes. I honestly liked them. It was fun to hang out with them, although they were my customers at that time. But let's change on to the next topic. Well, would you look at that? The next topic, Soldier of the Quarter.
Who's that?
Well, I don't know, some sergeant, some random sergeant from our first squad. Do you know, Major?
Yeah, I do. I can tell you this sergeant enlisted with us back in September 23rd of 2002. So coming up on his 2-year anniversary after the summer here. He started as a fire team member within First Squad, First Platoon Alpha Company. Took over as a FTL in that same squad, roughly around that mid-April of 2023. And he's really been there ever since. So he's currently right now the 2 IC within First Squad Scorpions. I'll tell you that Sergeant also is extremely dedicated in everything he does. Currently in 2 DMOSs, holds great responsibility, first as an NCOIC of 1, and again as a senior recruiter within RRO. That Sergeant over his career has earned countless awards and badges, most notorious for his Bronze Star that he received as a sergeant, Purple Heart, as well as Meritorious Service Medal, which is pretty rare to be given for lower, medium, junior NCOs. That's more or less a an award that's given like a retirement award, right? Or really, really going above and beyond as any soldier, which we actually gave out a few of those this year, which is outstanding. This sergeant also has 4 out of 5 of his skill badges, including Airborne, Air Assault, Pathfinder, Ranger, and being able to hopefully get that 5th with we'll see in his career. He's mostly just has excelled in everything he does. He strives to achieve anything and everything. And one thing is his remarkable service has to be done by also calling out that what he's done. And with that, we were able to vote on him as Soldier of the Quarter for quarter 1 of 2024. Cooper, you know who that is?
Oh, very difficult, very difficult.
I know. I named damn near every. I called out every dang near sergeant we have in this company.
Yeah, right. I do know that whenever I made his little thingy on whenever you start up the game, on the right side of the screen, our unit members actually know what I'm talking about. There's a little icon which displays the Soldier of the Quarter. I only know that when I pasted his link in there, it fucked it up real bad, and I hope it actually works. Because he has some really squiggly things in his name, which I hope he changes someday. But it's our main host, Sergeant Smiřický.
Hey, it is one Sergeant Danny Smiřický he just happened to be in this podcast with us. Welcome.
Weird, huh? Coincidence.
Welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here.
I will say, outstanding job. Cooper was in the room in that C-staff meeting when you were nominated. You were one of several soldiers nominated. That's the best
I hope he
part
voted for me.
We won't go there about who voted for you. I may not. I may have. I don't know. Cooper may have not. I don't know. That defines the purpose. However, when the vote came through and your nomination came through, I honestly said to myself, and I think I said this to the rest of the command staff, I'm like, he hasn't won one yet, or he hasn't been awarded this yet, because of knowing what you've done throughout your career so far with us, and being able to say, hey, and it's rare that we have to say that, and we have soldiers that get nominated 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in a row, and usually it's like, okay, yep, this soldier, this soldier's good. But then we start talking and saying, oh, wow, this soldier's done X, Y, Z. This soldier's attendance is X, Y, Z. This soldier's doing this in DMOSs. This soldier's doing this in his combat position. And we have a lot of great soldiers that get nominated. Just to be nominated alone is quite the honor, in my opinion. But when we finally got to vote and come down to the wire of who it's going to be, you came out victorious.
Oh, that's just amazing to hear. Even though I heard it on ceremony, it's nice to hear it for a second time.
Yeah, I did say some nice things back then, didn't I? Nice.
Yes.
I'm sorry. All right. So with that, then, Mr. Smiřický, with squiggly lines in your name, that breaks things. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a 22-year-old college student. I'm studying criminalistic investigative sciences, criminalistics and criminology, basically forensic sciences for those of you who watch NCIS, Naval Investigative TV series that's currently hot in the TV. Well, I study that, and I guess I want to do that IRL.
Are you Abby Suto?
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
But it's amazing work. It's interesting work. It's more of like being the detective in the field. I've already got a couple experiences on my own belt through a partnership program between my university and the police force of my country. So I've participated in some home searches, some arrests seen. It was certainly wild. Cannot talk about what I've seen since I am under, legally cannot talk about it, but I can say that I've been to some politicians being arrested. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, it's not a far-fetched. It's the Czech Republic. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Corruption is widespread here.
All right.
But yeah.
So why would you say you joined the Third ID, and kind of what keeps you here?
Well, I joined because of Staff Sergeant Ivanov. You can thank him for me being here, so go ahead and tell him thank you for inviting. Oh, I wanted more of say thank you for fucking inviting that idiot. We don't want him here. Get out. But yeah, me and Ivanov are friends for a lot of years. Some of you already know it. Me and Ivanov knew for 6 years, and I just had nothing to do, so he invited me here, and here I am. I stayed here because most of the people, like Corporal Donnelly, Staff Sergeant Ayers, First Lieutenant N.Cooper, or even Major J.LaFlash.
I wasn't listed in there in the initial post, so I kind of took offense to that.
Well, I wanted to list only 3 people, but the 4th and multiple people are the reason I'm staying here. If you weren't listed, don't be afraid. You're also important. Some less, some more, but you know how the song goes.
All right. So what did you, this isn't one of the on the books question, but once you joined, what did you think of it? I mean, obviously you're coming up on a 2-year anniversary. I mean, I guess it kind of keeps you here, but what would you say kind of propelled that, like, oh yeah, this is fun?
Well, as Staff Sergeant Ivanov can put it, I've spent half of my life dealing with milsims from milsim in video games. We used to play on Gary Smart roleplay servers on milsims, to milsim IRL as part of paintball and airsoft, where we literally fight as platoon against platoon with tanks, IFVs, and still. So this was right up my alley, right up to my interests. I liked the unit how it was, and so I stayed here.
I like it. All right. So what about any favorable, funny, memorable moments that you have so far in your
I
time?
have two. One is Major. Remember when you played Phasmophobia for the first time? Well, I do.
No, I blocked that terrible fucking thing out of my mind. But I'm reminded daily with a video that I happened to be recording at the time. And somebody took it and blew it up.
And then somebody made it into even better video with all our faces in it. But yeah, that was an amazing moment. I sometimes replay it again just if I want to have a great laugh.
I'm at 35%.
Alright, we're leaving him upstairs. He's doing an exorcism.
Okay, there's...
35%.
Alright, so the ghost is in the bathroom right now because he just activated the sink.
Bro, Major's about to be the first one to get killed. I'm gonna be the one running away.
Okay.
I'm still at 70%, bro.
You up here? Davey? Dave?
Yeah, I am. Oh,
Why is my flag? Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Get me the fuck out of here! It's here! Ah! God help! No! 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 Oh, there it is! There it is! There it is! There it is! Give me the... Ah! Fuck me! Fuck me! God damn it! Help! I'm dead! Oh god! I don't know what's happened! I'm in a hollow place! Oh god! Hi, dog! Oh god! Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! It's all blue! It's all blue! Oh, fuck me! Oh! Oh god! Even my dogs over here fucking kinda helped me here! Oh!
I saw it! I looked at the face of death
Ugh.
and ran.
Oh god! Come here! Come here! Oh! Oh, see, my dogs even try to help me! Oh!
All I see is Major's head just back away through the door, and he's like, no!
Oh, hi, baby. Oh. Fuck me, that was the scariest thing in the world.
Oh, power's back on.
Am I dead? Is that what all this...
Yeah,
Oh,
you
God.
died.
Thank the fucking Lord I'm dead. I don't have to do this anymore.
Major was the first to go. Look, let's see. I'm still
Holy fuck. Lambert, what the fuck just happened?
upstairs hallway is a 0.2 on the sound sensor. Hey,
Okay,
there's where
so-
Major died right
Yeah?
Alright, so let me.
The other moment is
As
half a
long as you
year
don't
ago.
post that on this video description, I'll be fine.
Maybe. Well, the other video is... Some of you remember when we had that amazing platoon mask as we were sieging this really specific base, and it was mined all around. Well, we were standing in the minefield when Mi-24 strafed us with rocket pods, and most of our platoon went down either due to the rockets or due to stepping to mines. Well, that's where our setting goes. At then, one of the only few Rangers, Sergeant Grigorov, now Staff Sergeant, retired, decided to go defuse the mines so that nobody else blows up. And guess what the funny thing happened? He blew up himself. And I'm gonna put that into the video.
Anybody got complaints?
Text you a message.
Send it.
I need a second ranger to clear this minefield before more people kill themselves.
2 actuals down, 2 actuals down. Access is for 1, filling in for 3. I got your striker, you want it?
That was funny. Oh shit.
It was an amazing moment. And I loved
I
it.
was right there for it. I remember. It was great. How about advice? What do you have for fellow soldiers that can help them with their careers here in the unit?
I say that as I say that on every new private I do new soldier orientation with. Communication is key. I believe that everything can be dealt with as long as you communicate properly. If you cannot communicate, if you don't show initiative by talking about it, we cannot fucking help you. I can help fight for you if you're inactive for a longer time, if your attendance drop below 60%, but I need to know that you're willing to stay here, that you actually are interested to stay here, and that you're cooperating. And I cannot know that if you don't tell me. So as I say, communication is key.
Okay, awesome. How about what army value is most important to you, and then why?
Integrity, personal integrity, to say it's precisely. Well, I value if a person stays true to themselves. I don't like people who change faces, you could say, who turn around.
Two-faced, we call that.
Two-faced people when he's tried to please everybody, but then again loses his own personality in the process. If you get me, Major? I would rather have. I would say it like this: I would rather have one true friend who values me for who I am, than dozen friends who value me because I act towards what they like.
Well, let's hope you can find that one friend someday.
Yeah, haven't been able to.
No, not true. You have plenty of them. I know you do. All right. So, what motivates you and keeps you pushing forward in the unit? Any goals that you have in this unit? What do you want to become?
Well, what motivates me? I'm a fucking masochist. What do you expect when I give most of my time to this unit?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly responsibility and the ability that I can help. I know that if I'm gonna I can give away the NCOAC position anytime I want, the squad senior recruiter role anytime I want, but it's with my ability to help, so I will. I'm the sort of person, you Major maybe heard me say it already once. I don't mind not doing anything, but if you give me the power to do anything, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if it's bad, if it's good. I'm just gonna do it because I can help with that. That's how I mostly got into all this stuff.
And how about some goals of yours?
Well, some of you already read the Soldier of the Quarter post, but I would like to be a first sergeant. I don't want to go the commissioned officer corps and be bad at land navigation. I just want
Cooper. All right, hold him down. Hold his arms.
No.
You got a point. I got a point.
You say he has a point?
He has a point.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been an officer for so long. I can't tell you any difference.
Well, I would like to go the non-commissioned route, like Sergeant Garcia or Sergeant Major Brock.
All right, Garcia, watch yourself.
Yeah, I can help you throw Garcia down a step.
Don't turn your back to this sergeant here. I'm just telling you, you might accidentally have an accident. I'm just saying, okay?
Maybe not. I cannot discuss that yet.
Careful, they're so dangerous. They're so dangerous.
All right, if I know something happens to Garcia, I love that man. There's no, you hurt him, you hurt my soul, okay?
He'll go just to the farm upstate.
The dog farm. Oh, that's funny. All right, and final question I have for you then. Any valuable lessons that you've learned while being in the unit?
Actually, yes. Our leadership course helped me a lot deal with people. Well, it helped me to strive for something and helped me point towards military and how I should go about it. And also course like advanced radio communication course helped me actually in real life. Some of you know, some of you may not. As I play paintball, I'm a radio man for my team, which means I'm RTO. I don't call in calls for fire or anything, but I have to communicate important information amidst 20 people on the same net to my team, and then from my team communicate it to our platoon leader. And when there's out of 60 people, 8, 9 have radio connection and they're all talking over each other, it helped me deal with that IRL. It helped me do the correct processes when I got just handed radio and you'll know what to do.
Nice. So you took some real world experience, or you took unit experience and turned it into real world experience. So.
Yep, pretty much.
All right. Well, that kind of ends the Soldier of the Quarter. Again, Sergeant Smiřický, congrats. It is extremely well earned. Being able to say those nice things about you was, for one, hard for my soul. No, I'm joking. But it was great to be able to honor you for all the work that you've done thus far in the unit. And I know it doesn't end just with this either. Just because you were named the Soldier of the Quarter doesn't end. And the great work that you've done. Obviously, you've taken on now the main
How do you know?
podcast.
What if I request a discharge right now?
Right now, well, we'd be the quickest retirement ever because I'd be so mad. No, I'm joking. It happens. I mean, we have some really good soldiers that have been in the unit for a long time that retirements have to happen, right? It's a sucky part. But the one nice thing is I always gauge by, when a retired soldier comes back. They don't have to come back. But we get a lot of retired soldiers that come back.
Don't worry, Major. You're not getting rid of me that easily.
Well, that's a plus. But I appreciate you, really do, and so does this unit. And you do a lot for us. And you might be an odd duck at times, but that's okay. That's who Smiřický is when we talk about Smiřický. That's just your culture and who you are, and that just makes it better. That's for sure. But I'm going to turn it back over to you so you can honor another man that's in this room.
Well, certainly there's a lot of sea staff people. And like Major J.LaFlash, First Lieutenant Tucci, First Lieutenant Mando. Well, a lot of these people have become a sea staff, but how have they become sea staff? What's their favorite food? And do they have any pets? Well, we have some important questions for today's man behind the rank, First Lieutenant N.Cooper, Brigade Commander of the Free Cap Detachment, and Public Affairs Office Officer in Charge.
Hi, that's me.
First Lieutenant, thank you for having you here on the casting couch. Please look into the camera, don't look at the man behind you.
All right, awesome.
So, first question. What is your favorite aspect of the unit?
Right, favorite aspect of the unit is a little tough one. There are certainly some... okay, to give a little bit of the context, when you're in C-Staff, you kind of have to have favorite aspects of the unit. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been in C-Staff to begin with.
Good answer.
Because you wouldn't have made it that far. However, I would just simply answer the people. There's some very, very great people in this unit that, quite frankly, are one of the biggest reasons why I'm still staying, still here, and actually doing it. It's just, the people that are around you, the people that you play with, great friendships over the time. Some have already left, some are still here. But that's the big my favorite aspect of the unit, the people.
Well, thank you. You also have something to say for that, because if you did not say anything for that, I don't think Major would be happy. Well, let's go on to something more personal. What's your favorite food? And hopefully it has something to do with alcohol.
I mean, favorite drink, vodka, We've been drinking last weekend. Oh, this weekend. Oh, no, yeah, last weekend. That's right.
Yeah, Major, we're
trying
to wait you next week.
No, but when we're talking about actual food, I'm a very big Japanese food guy. I love Japanese food. Ricky knows exactly what I'm talking about, because when I was on my Japan LOA, I've been talking. I talked to him quite a bunch about that exact topic, and probably my favorite food is tonkatsu, which is essentially just the Japanese version of a schnitzel. Just a little bit different prepared, but it's basically that, but better, in my opinion.
Whoa. It's not like you basically spend your entire fucking vacation on your phone with me. That was certainly amazing getting a drunk messages at 2 a.m. from you.
Very rare for not many people to see a first lieutenant getting drunk and texting a sergeant.
Yeah, but I certainly enjoyed it. Can't say I know much about Asian food. I'm not really Asian guy myself. Well, it depends which Asians, if you know what I mean. But when's your birthday? You gotta have birthday. You're not a ginger. You have a soul.
I wouldn't say that. Frost took mine quite a long time ago. No, it's the 30th of March. Yeah, 2002 was when I was born, so I'm 22 now, and my birthday was last month.
Oh,
And who was the first one to say happy birthday to you?
That was who was it?
come on, you know the right answer. It starts with M, and it ends with Ash.
I don't think he did though.
First one in America.
First one in America. I know you were one of the first people. That's I know. But I think it was actually
Wait,
was sitting
no.
next to me.
Go back in our messages because I remember it was actually just past midnight in Germany when I texted you.
Wait,
yes.
Did you send it to me?
Because I even said it in our command staff chat. I'm like, it's past midnight in Germany. Happy birthday, Cooper.
Oh, it could very well been you. Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, I just looked at it. Yes.
Wow, what
Major was it?
Wow, just what a drama. Major, I'm gonna expect that same on my birthday.
You gotta be part of C-Staff.
Damn.
See, that's my leadership team. I gotta make sure I know their birthdays, their spouses, their families.
It's not like you already know everything about me.
Yeah, a little bit. A little too much. TMI sometimes. All right, back to Cooper.
Alright, so, do you have any pets, Cooper?
Right now, I do not. I do have a pet cat back at my parents' place. His name is Carlo. He's an orange cat, so orange cat behavior. If everybody knows who knows what that means, you know. He is a very cute boy, but he's also a very big asshole, like every fucking cat is. And I do wish I could have him here, but my landlords are not allowing it, which is sad.
So, what's you saying down with landlords?
No, I actually pretty like them. They're nice.
Damn.
The rest they can go. I don't give a shit.
Alright. Oh. Certainly, we're gonna expect a picture of Cargo for the podcast. You better send one out.
I can try to think of it.
Thank you. Well, on to the next topic. What do you currently do for a living?
Right now, I am a CNC machinist. I do a little bit of engineering on the side of that, which is a pain in the ass. But yeah, I do CNC stuff. So big machines go vroom vroom with the milling tools and fun stuff like that. Ricky, you could sometimes joke with me about it. But yeah.
For those of you who did not understand by pain in the ass, he meant he made a butt plug for himself.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I didn't. But I
Not
could
yet.
if I wanted. If I wanted to.
He has the ability.
I have the abilities, yes. But no, I wouldn't.
He's taking orders.
What's rack? You've heard this. He's taking orders.
It's expensive though. No, it's fun. But yeah, that's what I do for a living. Nothing crazy, but nothing too unimportant, I guess.
Well, it's not unimportant. It's your life, and that's how you get paid. But what do you do in your free time? What other hobbies do you have outside gaming?
Outside of gaming, it's probably just watching TV shows. I don't have many other hobbies than that. I remember very well from one of my teachers back in the day. Whenever we did introductions in a year, he always looked at the people and went, "No, meeting up with your friends is not a fucking hobby. Get a real hobby. Touch some grass." And I agree with him. Meeting up with your friends is not a real hobby. So I would
so
just
you
say
decided to play airsoft.
until you decide to actually do something while meeting your friends. Yes, I agree. But yeah, I do just watch TV most of the time, read books. Ricky, you know I do have an airsoft rifle, which I'm planning to expand on a little bit in the future, but right now the money is a little tight, so yeah.
So again, he's taking orders.
$200 a pop.
Pop, get it?
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. Any advice to give to your fellow soldiers or new arma3 players wanting to enlist?
Right, for this one, I'm gonna be quoting one of my favorite rally drivers, because he said it the fucking best. When in doubt, flat out, just fucking do it. Don't think about it. When you think about maybe I should join a unit, fucking do it. Don't sit there and question it. Just do it. If you think about doing something within the game, for example, I don't know, you're getting engaged, you have to do something, just do it. Most of the time, the first action that comes to your head is the right one, which is most likely shooting back. But yeah, that's really the biggest advice. Just do it. There's no reason to not do it.
Well, that's a lot of similar to Special Air Service motto, if you know which one I'm talking about. Who dares wins. Certainly something to live by. A lot of countries have that motto, but the SAS were the first ones to use it.
Yep. And they are fucking right with it. Just fucking do it.
Well, what sort of music do you listen to?
Oh, that's a tough one. I do listen to just everything I kind of get and what I like to listen to, which doesn't really answer the question, I know. But it's just, I really just listen to from all genres. It can be whatever language it is, really. I had a time where I was listening to Mongolian throat singing. Ricky knows again what I'm talking about, because I was sending him songs and he actually liked some of them. But yeah,
that was a weird phase.
But yeah, I just listen to whatever music I like. I had a phase where I liked American country music. Some of them are still bangers. I don't know any of them from the top of my head. But yeah, just everything, I guess. I can't really answer that question.
Oh, away from your questionable songs choice that you've sent at me at like 2 a.m. Again, another unsolicited messaging from a lieutenant, as long as they're not dick pics, am I right? Well, do you have any siblings?
I do have 3, all female, and it's a pain in the fucking ass, and I'm not
Pain in the ass or pain in the ass?
They're fucking annoying, okay? I'm gonna keep it that way.
Well, what's your biggest pet peeve? Real life or in the unit?
I don't really have any pet peeves, so I wouldn't know what I want. Jesus, I can't talk. I'm too tired for this. No, I don't really have many pet peeves, really. Except one thing is, in this unit particular, is whenever we talk about people wanting to go a certain direction within the MOS, like rank wise. I know you talked about you want to become a first sergeant. Some other people have expressed the same dreams. The biggest pet peeve towards that I have is that whenever opportunities open up for that or for those chances to actually happen, people oftentimes just don't take it for whatever reason they have in their mind at the moment, which in my opinion is quite silly. I get why some people would drop the chances of going up in their little rank here, but at the same time, you are talking big about you wanting to achieve something, then why aren't you actually moving towards it? It sounds like a lot of empty words, if that makes sense. That's the only pet peeve that I have.
Oh, alright then, I guess. Well, what kind of guilty pleasures do you have? Except alcohol.
Annoying the shit out of people. I know
Actually
Major
based.
knows about. I know Major knows about it. I know Tucci knows about it. Sometimes I say something because I know people will be annoyed by it, especially Tucci. But yeah, that's probably my guilty pleasure, just annoying people.
Well, poor Tucci.
I
He's
don't
a
do it all the
professional
time.
troll.
I am, but I don't do it all the time, but I do it sometimes.
Well, that's your thing to do. I'm not gonna talk about it much. Because it's not about me. Well, what's something that you can't live without? And oxygen doesn't count.
What about water?
Damn it.
No, can't live without. Phew. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, there are many things you can't live without, which makes sense. If it comes to just like general feeling, happy in life, probably gaming and or TV shows. They're like the main source of entertainment I have.
Alright. Well, minus that weird question that I had to ask, what's something that's on your bucket list?
My bucket list, I don't have many things on my bucket list because I kind of already took most of it off, which sounds kind of weird because I'm only 22 and there's not much I have done in my life. However, just like things like going overseas to Asia, seeing most of Europe, going to Russia, stuff like that, were on my bucket list.
Good luck going to Russia, comrade.
Yeah, nowadays.
I was gonna
not
say,
anymore.
is it really going overseas to Asia when you're connected to that continent?
I mean, like the islands of Asia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the actual
like I go
good parts.
overseas.
The actual good parts of Asia. I mean, I guess something that is.
Well, you just insulted Osias Babel.
No, he's on an island.
He is on an island.
Oh, right?
He's on an island, yes. So
Okay.
I didn't. I can say other things about his country, which I'm not. But he will agree with most of what I would say. But yeah, I think one of the things that are still on my bucket list is just visiting the US. I still haven't done that yet. I am planning to do that in the future, but not right now.
Visiting Major J.LaFlash himself? Getting a challenge coin?
Hey.
Maybe.
That is true. Anybody listening, the only chance to get a Commander's Challenge coin is beating me in person. I will say that Sergeant Nicholas did that when I was over in Europe this last summer.
Major, you really should go visit Czech Republic.
It's beautiful there. I heard.
Yeah, we have the highest amount of castles.
Only if Bohemia is listening to this and want to invite me to your studios for a tour, then I can't say no.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk to the community manager. What was his name?
Community manager, Mellors or Leclerc?
Yeah, Leclerc. I guess we're gonna have to contact Leclerc. Hey, Leclerc, if you're listening to this, can you...
Both of them are in North America, so I mean...
boring.
They're working for Bohemia Interactive. They can make something appear. Well, what's your favorite movie? And why is it your favorite movie?
Okay, I don't really have a favorite movie. I do have a favorite TV show.
Well, that's the same.
It's kind of the same, especially because that TV show is kind of like a movie, in my opinion. A long movie, a fucking long one, if you connect every episode, which is Generation Kill. I know my brigade knows very well because I've told them yet again that I've started to watch it yet again. It's probably my 8th viewing of the show, and it's never getting old or boring. I just love that show to death. Main reason is just accuracy towards what happened during the war in Iraq 2003. Just how it's shot, just how the story is told. It all just connects the dots really, and that including the atmosphere of where it happened, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest turning points in the 20th century altogether in terms of modern warfare and warfare as a whole, because that was the last time soldiers were equipped with iron sight weapons. Not everybody had functioning blue force trackers. Not everyone had a drone. air support was, you know, it wasn't just the company has some kind of support. It was just still very old school army, or not army, military, if you will. Because after that invasion, a lot of stuff changed, especially when it came to like troop transport. Like the Humvee was slowly getting phased out because of ID or improvised explosive threats.
A-10s were no longer using binoculars to find enemies.
Exactly. You know, just that war as a whole was just a complete game changer for like war as we knew it back in the day. And that's probably why I really love that show, because it just kind of gives you an idea how fucking annoying it would have been to be a soldier in 2003. While yes, you had like the god ability of seeing your enemy at the night, it probably fucking sucked ass with old nods and shit. No optics, no nothing.
Well, you can certainly ask a certain person that's sitting currently with us how it was to surf at that time.
He didn't surf in 2003.
No,
but he came
my
out
brother
a little
did.
bit.
But
Your brother did,
no.
that's true.
Weren't you then about something around that time, early 2000s?
06.
Dio was before you, if I remember correctly. He was 05.
I was
I
06.
think. Yeah, you were 06, Dio was 05. And Dio loves to talk about his time in Iraq and Afghanistan. He really loves talking about it.
A little bit of sarcasm there.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, on to the next question. What's an embarrassing story or funny moment that's happened to you? This can be real life or in the unit, but something has to be said. I would prefer the embarrassing story, though.
I don't have anything of those. I'm perfect.
Sure.
I mean,
shall I open up the Cooper folder then?
No, you shouldn't. No, to be fair, not many embarrassing stories. Funny moments. I have something in this unit. It was like, when was it? We were in Mali deployed. I don't know which campaign it was. Major, do you remember that Drake was platoon sergeant back then? Platoon leader.
Let's see, Silver Guardian.
Silver Guardian, yeah, that's what it was. I remember clearly we had to clear this town. I was in 3rd Squad back in the day, and we were stationed on top of that big ass building in the middle of the desert, overlooking things. And I just see, back in the day, Second Lieutenant Drake get into a enemy vehicle, which was to be deployed to a different location to be safely blown up. And I just remember him driving towards my building, and in the next frame I saw, everything just started burning and everybody was dead. And it turned out that he accidentally hit a parked vehicle directly underneath the building, which kind of shot him into the building and killed all of us. And that was probably the funniest thing I've ever experienced with an armor. That big ass fuck up.
Amazing armor physics. Everybody fucking knows it. Oh, we're almost at the end. What is your proudest achievement you have undertaken or succeeded to this day?
There's not much that is like properly an achievement. Just minor things, landing a job that is somewhat steady. Just that kind of thing. Not really something that I'm the proudest of. Just again, I haven't lived long enough to have something like that yet, I believe. So yeah, I would just skip that one. I don't really have anything there.
Alright. Oh, that was First Lieutenant N.Cooper. Hopefully you've learned something about him. Some of his deepest desires, some of his shameful secrets, or something about him as a person. Lastly, last segment that's awaiting us is some interesting mods that we found. Gentlemen, are you ready for this?
Yep.
Alright, then I shall start as first. I found a mod, a map that, to be precise, probably we could run an entire full-blown operation a full year on the map, and we would still have problem just reaching it. It's a certain map that I'm gonna tease a little bit, is 40 kilometers by 40 kilometers in size, some approximate 1600 square kilometers. For those of you who don't know how big that is, there's a map Chernobyl that you're probably all familiar with. Well, Chernobyl is only 225 square kilometers. Yes, this map is about 6-7 times bigger than Chernobyl, and that's already an enormous map. This mod is called Zagorsk. It's a map, and I'm gonna read from the workshop description. Zagorsk has more than 650 villages, 6 big cities, 2 field airports, 2 pumped storage hydroelectric power stations, 8 big lakes, railway, a lot of factories, barns and warehouses. It's an enormous mod with about 14 million objects. But now, I probably hear you all yelling at me after the amazing map testing with certain map that had 5 million objects. This map can be gotten as one single package, or as 5 split maps. Zagorsk Big City, Zagorsk Big Lakes, Quarries, Kotkovo, and Long Lake. Out of these, only the Big Lakes it has 3 million objects, and everything else is around 1,200,000. Well, 2 are 1,250,000 objects, and the other 2 are 850,000 objects. It's a interesting map, and the amazing part that I really love about this, all the buildings are enterable. You can get inside them, you can do some proper CQC, breach and clear over 650 villages, thousands upon thousands of buildings. And I fucking fell in love with it.
Yeah, it looks insane. Just looking at it, we'll be posting the links in the description. If you haven't seen it, I mean, that city, can you imagine having to clear that as a unit?
That would be a multi-operation clearing.
That would...
A full-on...
A 10 by 10 map, just all city. That's insane.
Imagine it like this. That would be our very own Fallujah right there. We would be 3-4 fucking Sundays on there just clearing it alone.
I remember we had a campaign, a mission in the campaign once where we had to clear out a big city, not as big as this, and it took us 4 Sundays.
Yeah.
I remember that damn well, and it was a pain in the ass. It was truly awful.
I love that you can. Fun. I like that they break this map. It's so big that they broke it into 5 other maps. So that's pretty cool.
So for all of you interested, check out the link description. While you'll see some couple images while I've been talking about this. And as to, if you're, well, First Lieutenant Vandal, if you would be so nice and our next operation, I already found you a map, no need to do anything else.
Yeah. All right. So the one that I'm bringing to the table today is called Ground, not Branch, but Breach Atlantis. It's similar as it is a scenario. It's not actually a map. So you'd be able to load this in, and ultimately it's created by a guy named Skull. Has about 10,000 unique visitors. Over 4,000 subscribers have it in their mod packs right now. Another just under 300 have it as their favorite, and it's rated 4 stars with 103 rating. But ultimately, it is close, quick, close quarters combat. Randomly generated missions for solo and co-op play. So if you're just a solo person, you can load this mod and it would just randomly select a mission and generate that stuff for you. So it's playable by solo with AI, or co-op with AI. Obviously, there's virtual arsenals, many parameters that you can alter with the gameplay to make it easier, harder, faster, or slower. A revive system, including allowing AI to revive you and you to revive AI, which is actually pretty cool if an AI would heal me if I'm playing solo. And you could choose any faction that you play, and any faction to be your enemy. So ultimately, there's just a lot of accessibility to this mod. Looks like a lot of detail goes into it, and it sounds like that Skull has a collection of a lot of different mods, but this one was one of his highest ranking, highest rated. But definitely something to check out. Definitely, if you're looking to, he even puts it on there that the gameplay is inspired by the game Ground Branch. So just a co-op and pretty awesome. I would definitely check it out.
Sounds certainly interesting. You've basically want me to play it right now, Major. So if I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, I would go download it immediately right now. But for all of the you squad leaders and above listening to this podcast, go right ahead, take the link, and send it as a mod request for S2. Maybe we might have it implemented on our public server too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And First Lieutenant Cooper?
It's not really a mod that is publicly known on the workshop, because you kind of have to be in the unit to know about it. But I kind of want to shill our own mod pack, because I want to say we are the first people, and this might sound a little cocky to say, but we may be the first people to have the new army rifles, the XM5 and so on, that are actually good and usable within our mod pack. We have we specifically went out and we got one of the best model creators and modders that we know on the job. He was a prior unit member. He left back in, I believe, 2021. His name is Lieber.
Yes, the angry Frenchman.
The angry Frenchman, as he's known within the unit. But he's done an outstanding job of actually modeling these weapons to the most realistic ways he possibly can as a Frenchman, without them actually in his hands. And just comparing them with other mods on the workshop, I just have to say he did such an amazing, brilliant freaking job. It's unmatched, and I'm just so happy that it's in our mod pack. Because if you want to test this mod, just try to apply for us. You just join us, download the mod. You don't have to actually join us to play with the mod. However, if you already have the mod in your mod launcher, why the fuck not join? And yeah, that's mine. Our weapons. Call it a little cocky, but it is what it is. I truly believe that. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible.
Be biased. Just be biased.
I am biased to the weapons. That's all I'm saying. I love them. They look great. They shoot great. They sound great. They're amazing.
Major,
does amazing there.
Major, you know what? I had amazing ideas right now. Well, we have a donation goal for your own uniform with a name, backpack with a name. What about XM7 with a name? For all those of you who are willing to...
I remember we had a soldier ask me, what would a donation be if... what would I have to donate to be able to get my own striker with my name on it? Now it's a weapon with no name on it.
I mean, I don't think it would be hard to put a name on it, or for
well,
leave up to
we
show.
Can put a name on anything. However, it's also keeping it uniform, and that's really the part of it. It's scalable.
Well, the rifle, we have a 3rd Infantry Division logo on the rifle. The name could be under the 3rd Infantry Division logo, which means only the person would see it from the first-person perspective.
True.
So it wouldn't disrupt the uniformity of us.
Well, that's something for C staff and COE to decide.
That's true. Yeah, that obviously has to be made by our Corps of Engineers, and what it looks like, what monetary donation to hit that, because that'd be pretty sweet. But then again, having that's something that I share with my unit share group that I'm in, is how donations come in and we award and thank our soldiers that hit an X amount, because they get a uniform with name on it, they get a rucksack with a name on it for hitting X amount. It's big on how we do some things. Obviously, there's so much that we do different than other units, including like anniversary gifts. That's never heard of, and just being able to send that out worldwide is big. But that's one of them. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, anniversary gift, Major! I'm coming for the 5-year.
Also, hit that 3-year first.
Oh, I already know what's the 3-year. Didn't you forget what you promised me?
Dinner.
A romantic dinner with candles.
Romantic dinner with Major. We'll do it over webcam.
Instant noodles.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll get my ramen out. I'll pull the nice dishware.
But yeah, I believe that's everything for me. And if it's for you gentlemen as well, then dear listeners, this is the end of 3rd Infantry Division podcast. Well, Dogface soldiers, take care, and see you next podcast.
Yeah, everybody. Well.